Are you struggling to manifest what you want or have been trying to manifest something for years and it's still not happening? Well, join my 21-day manifestation challenge, which starts in January. You will be part of the manifest movement. Don't have FOMO, fear of manifesting out. Join the challenge at pausepenny.com. Testing, manifesting. What's up, the manifest movement? What's up, manifestors? We are back and we are in the studio today. And today I am going to talk about something that's coming up for a lot of people over and over and over again. It is all about when you're manifesting and it is just not happening, or it happens, but just not exactly how you pictured. I have an unbelievable story for that last piece. So let me say this. The universe has 3 answers. Yes, yes, but not yet, and no, because something better is coming along. But first up, let me tell you this. These are the answers from the universe when you are doing the work. The work, as in you are being consistent. If it's not showing up for you and you are honest with yourself, are you doing the work? Are you manifesting? Are you a high vibe? Are you visualizing? Are you practicing gratefuls? And ultimately, do you believe? Or is there a lot of fear and doubt knocked in there? So what is it? Because you know what? I think that the manifestation movement now, it is time that I can be totally straight up with everyone. And I know that the majority of you like my no bullshit approach. So let me just give it to you. Most people think they're manifesting, but they're not. They're actually very negative, or they're in this cycle of telling themselves this shitty story all the time. I am a single mom and it's hard for me, or I work in a toxic environment and it's so hard and I hate my boss, and all of these stories you're telling yourself over and over and over again. And let me tell you something. What you don't change, you choose. If you are not making any changes to what is going on in your life, you are by default choosing it. You are choosing it. And change is hard, but so is living a shitty life. So what is it? What are you going to do? What are you going to change up, right? So let's go through the 3. Yes, but not yet, and no, because something better is coming along. And I'm going to give some examples for you. On the last manifestation challenge, I wanted to manifest selling out the sugar club. And what happened? I have a whole podcast episode on how I had a little bit of fear and doubt, and I had to let that go, and I had to surrender and let go. But ultimately, what happened was the sugar club sold out, right? So the universe brought me my request. Yes, you are going to sell out the sugar club. But if I didn't sell out the sugar club, I would have thought to myself, okay, what is the lesson that I can learn here? Did I push it enough? Did I market it enough? What were the action steps that maybe I didn't do to get there, right? And maybe if it didn't happen this time, it's going to happen another time, because that is the vibrational frequency that I live in. I do not live in a frequency of, oh, I'm not good enough, and that's why it wouldn't have sold out, right? And I'll never forget, I was listening to a really, really big podcaster. I can't remember his name, but he had Tara Swart on his podcast. And this was in my mind when I was trying to sell the tickets. And this podcaster told Tarswart that he had a huge event and he was selling tickets for the event, but the tickets wouldn't sell. So he had to pull the show. And I was like, oh shit, what if that happens here? But I had to let go of that fear and that doubt. So maybe he was manifesting that he would sell out this event. But really, when you look behind the curtain, you look behind the scene, you look deep within, you are recognizing that you have a lot of fear and doubt and you are self-sabotaging yourself. So the universe might work quickly in some areas of your life. I want to have a soulmate. Yes, he arrives. Or I want a baby. You get pregnant quickly. You get the new job quickly. Everything is happening quickly in a specific area of your life. And the universe is saying yes. Why is it that in this area of your life, the universe is saying yes here, but no in different areas? Because we have limiting beliefs in different areas of our life. When you are aligned, when you are in that vibrational frequency of alignment and taking action and high vibes, the universe will say yes, and you will get what you want. Right? So that is your yes, it is coming. Then there is, yes, this is going to happen for you, but not yet. Right? And this happened for me in so many areas of my life. And this happened when I was trying for a baby. Yes, it was going to happen, just not yet. When I was manifesting a soulmate. Yes, but just not yet. When I was, what else did we have? The dream home, that took about 3 years. So there's certain things in your life that might take you a little bit longer, but the universe is still going to deliver. And the reason why it might be yes, but not yet, could be you still have a few lessons to learn, right? So I really believe that for me, when I was manifesting the baby, there were still a lot of lessons that I had to learn about manifestation. One was I needed to learn the lesson of trusting the timing of my life. I kept on putting a timeline on everything. You know this. I said, I want to manifest twins, 2 boys at Christmas. I was so specific of what I wanted on the timeline. You need to let go of your timelines. I also talk about in another podcast episode about how I was going to manifest the babies. And it was going to be through IVF. I was dictating the how, and I needed to learn the lesson. Trust the timing of your life. It's not your timing, it's the universe's timing. Let go of the how and how it's going to happen. And also, I think that deep down, I had this fear of what was going to happen to my career when I had a baby, right? And that was probably this limiting belief of were these babies or was a baby going to hold my career back? And I had to let that go. So if it's a yes, but not yet, know that you can have what you want when you believe. But maybe there's a couple of things that you still need to work on. You still need to surrender and let go. And by the way, surrender and let go is not giving up. It is just letting go of the strangulation of your manifestation. You are holding on so tightly to it. And you know that you have surrendered and let go. Do you know how you know you've surrendered and let go? You are living in joy. You are just on a high vibe. Nothing bothers you because you are just living in the moment and life is so good and you just know it's going to happen, but you don't know how and you don't know when, but you know this is going to happen, right? So then we have no, something better is coming. along. And I'll give you an example. So when I was manifesting a sponsor for the Sugar Club event, I had reached out to two sponsors. One was Burst, which were the oral care teeth whitening strips, and then the other one was Build Your Dream Cars, right? And Burst ultimately were like, we don't have budget for that, but we can give you samples. And let me just tell you this, no, thank you. No, thank you. I am bringing a huge community to this event. I don't want your samples. And ultimately, it didn't 100% feel totally aligned with me. And the reason is because I just feel very strongly about Irish brands and Irish female entrepreneurs. And I also use Spotlight. So there you go. You want white teeth? So there you go. And so that one didn't work out. And then the second one was Build Your Dreams. And Build Your Dreams car, I thought was like, this is the perfect one for the event. And then when I had the conversation with them, they told me we're moving away from that tagline of Build Your Dreams. And I was like, oh, like I thought this was a totally aligned with what I wanted, but it's not. And ultimately they said they wouldn't give me the money, but they would give me the car for the weekend. And I just said, no thanks. But there was such a huge part of me that was like, oh, I really love an Irish female owned brand. But look, you know what? The event is going to be good as it is. And it doesn't matter if we don't have a sponsor. I'm fine with that. And then the day BYD came back to me, it was a Friday. They'd said that they weren't going to go ahead and sponsor the event. I think it was the Saturday morning. I woke up to an Instagram message from Betty and Biddy. And I've got all my little charms on my bracelets here. And their founder, female-owned Irish brand, said, I would love to gift everyone a Betty and Biddy piece. And it is all about the high vibes, the vibration, that 1111 chains. They had a be yourself chain. They had the evil eye with the hand, like keeping out negative energy. What a perfect collab for the manifest movement. So no, something better was coming along. This happened to me as well with a job. So after I was made redundant from a role in 2018 and I was looking for a new job, and I got asked by another public company. I was in an interview process for this public company and for a general counsel role. And there's a really funny story about this general counsel role. And I was also in the running for a role, head of legal and operations for Fitbit, right? My dream job. Hello, Fitbit. I'm wearing a Fitbit watch. I've been wearing one since about 2014. And I was like, this is my dream job. And every single day I would walk past Fitbit every day with my son for his cat nap on Bagot Street in Dublin. And I would say, I'm going to get a job here. This is my job. I'm going to get a job here. Right. And so what had happened was I went for the interview for the general counsel role in this other public company. And the company was a little bit, had financial issues that came out. And it was the board's fault, right? And it was a board full of men. And they had placed an interim CEO in, and I was being interviewed by this interim CEO. And he was like, well, if we brought you in, what would you do? And I said, well, I'd add a few women to the board and clean the shit up that all these men have made. I know it sounds very direct, and I was so direct. And the minute that came out of my mouth, I was like, oh shit, have I just said that to the CEO? And he looked at me and he was like, you're right. Guess what? I got offered the job immediately on the spot. They offered me this job. General counsel of a public company. The title that I wanted, the money that I wanted, a public company. I was going to be the top lawyer in the organization. but the industry wasn't what I wanted. So I told them that, you know what, it's just, I want to stay in the running for Fitbit. And I actually gave them another person's name, and they hired this person. And I stayed in the running with Fitbit. And ultimately, I was talking money with Fitbit, like we were getting down to the final stages. And what happened? They were acquired by Google. And I was like, what, universe? What the fuck is going on here? Like, I walked by Fitbit every single day. I visualized myself in the chair. I could see myself in there. In fact, I actually manifested that I would meet the MD, like the head guy of Fitbit, walking down Bagot Street. And I would see him and I would stop him and I would say, that head of legal and operations, head of legal for EMEA role is mine. And guess what happened? I walked into him one day, but then I didn't stop. I didn't stop him. I was like, you would sound like a total crazy person, right? So anyway, the job was mine. It was my job, effectively. And what happened? The universe took it away. I gave up this general counsel role. I gave up running for this general counsel role to be in the running for Fitbit. I practically had the Fitbit job and the universe took it away. Google acquired Fitbit and the job was gone. And I thought, oh my God. So what did I do wrong there? So the universe said no, and I was manifesting this. This was my job. Everything was lining up. I was visualizing. I was walking past the place every day, practicing my gratefuls. I could see myself in the Fitbit desk. In fact, I had given them some ideas for the Fitbit and they thought they were the best ideas. I was like, this is my job. This is my job. I was actually even selling the Fitbit for them. When I go into Avoca, I would pay with my Fitbit and I would be like, do you have Fitbit? You can pay on your Fitbit. So like I was a salesperson. This was my job. And so what happened next was I realized I was so specific. I was so specific. I was telling the universe, it's this job or nothing. That is not the way it works. You need to be clear on what you want, but don't be so specific that the universe has no other alternatives to give you. That job was clearly not in alignment with where I was going in my life and what the universe could see for me. So I was less specific and I wrote down on a piece of paper, I wanted to be head of legal and operations for a tech startup. I wanted to go into tech. And ultimately what happened was I got a job with a CEO who had sold his company and then he was starting up another one. And he asked me, what do you want your title to be? And I said, head of legal and operations. So I got this job as head of legal and operations for a tech startup with a man who on the very first day that I met him, when I finished up there and started kind of pause penny, told me, he's hugely into manifestation. You need to start a subscription service. And that is actually what I'm thinking about doing now. But not only that, he taught me how to run a business because he said to me, like, you're my right hand gal, effectively. You're running the show. You're going to be running the show here. And I learned so much. I learned how to file a VAT return, which I now need for my company. I would not have learned that if I was in Fitbit. So remember, something better and more in alignment will come along, but you have to trust that that is what is going to happen for you, right? You have to trust that that's something better, that the universe, there is part of manifestation that you cannot see and you maybe can't understand. You are co-creating with the universe, and sometimes you have to let go of the control and allow the universe to bring in what it is supposed to bring in into your life that you just can't really see yet. Just like the sponsor, I got a sponsor even better, a female-owned brand, so in alignment with who I am and who the manifest movement are aligned with. The job I wasn't meant to be in Fitbit, right? And by the way, if I had gotten that Fitbit job, 6 months later, I would have suffered my loss with Polly, and I would have been in this big job and felt totally overwhelmed. And now I was in an organization where I was reporting into the CEO, and he gave me, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain, but he was there for me, right? Through the loss. And I'll always be grateful to him for that. And I don't know how it would have worked out if I was in Fitbit. Who knows? I could have loved that job, but it was clear that the universe wanted me to learn how to run a business because I would have my own after that loss. I would have my own. So, a couple of things. If you are manifesting for a long time, I got a question the other day. I'm manifesting 5 years and it still hasn't happened. Okay. Are you doing the work? Are you putting in the work? It's either coming now, yes, but not yet. It's coming in the future, or no, something better is coming along, right? So are you putting in the work? Are you doing the inner work? Do you have blocks that you need to work on? Only you can answer these questions. You've got to take responsibility for yourself and figure these questions out. Why is it not happening for me if I have been trying for this for X amount of years? Am I not listening to the signs of the universe? Am I really not committed to it? Do I have a lot of fear and doubt? Another lady said to me, it was about having a baby. At what point is it a no? At what point do I give up? And the thing is, let me tell you this. I'm doing a webinar on how to have a baby on November 2nd. And I will tell you this. It is possible to have a baby. And stop telling yourself, I'm 41, 42, 43. I've got friends who are 45 and are having a baby. Is it a little bit harder? Yes. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. But you have to believe. And you're starting to put your age and your doubt and every month being challenged as doubt that's creeping into your head. Doubt will not help you on your manifestation journey. It is a lack control vibrational frequency. Fear and doubt will repel your manifestation, right? And I had a lady, and I told this story about my friend as well. Both of these people who were struggling to have a baby, wonder was it ever going to happen for them? And when do they just give up? And I asked them the question, are you ready to give up? And if the answer is no, well, then you have to be willing to break your own heart. You have to trust that it is going to work out for you. And I know that's hard, but you do the work. You keep the visualization. You choose the signs. You practice your gratitude. You help yourself get there. So for me, it is going to happen. If you want a baby and you're a little bit older, it's going to happen, but you have to trust. And maybe it won't happen naturally. Maybe you will need IVF. Maybe you will need a surrogate. Maybe like one lady I had on a challenge, trying for a baby. And all of a sudden at the end of the challenge, an adoption came through for her. You don't know how it is going to happen, but it will happen for you. So remember this. If you are struggling to manifest what you want and you have been doing it for a long time, ask yourself these questions. Am I doing the work? Am I being consistent? Are there some blocks and doubt that I need to work on? And for our manifestation challenge, this is why we're going to have in November an inner child workshop for anybody who signs up with Robin Taff, right? Because sometimes you might have little blocks that you might not be aware of. Are you in alignment with it? Are you showing up as a person who actually believes they have it or is acting like they already have it, right? So let me tell you this again. Anything is possible when you believe. But you have got to start taking responsibility for your journey and start questioning why it's not happening for you. And you might say, I'm meditating, I'm journaling, I'm practicing gratitude, I'm saying my affirmations. Well, maybe you're just not surrendering and letting go. Maybe in your subconscious mind, deep down, you really, really don't believe it's possible for you. So that's it. Oh, yeah. Guess what, guys? I've got some news. When I changed my name on my podcast from All Up in Your Biz to the Manifest Movement, I lost all my stars on Spotify. So if you don't mind, if you like my vibe, please subscribe and give it a 5 stars. And when you hit that 5 stars, just make a manifestation wish. Be like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. My soulmate's coming. My baby's coming, because what you put out is what you get back. The universe loves that. So help a gal out. If you like my vibe, please subscribe. And until next Thursday, see ya.